Hello, my name is Elena Driver, and this is my Rube Goldberg project.
You are awesome, and you're all part of the Viking Nation. Service, innovation, honor, success.
Yeah, it worked! My Rube Goldberg machine utilizes many different simple machines, such as an inclined plane, pulley, lever, and wheel and axle. A simple machine is defined as a device for overcoming resistance at one point by applying force at some other point. The machine starts off with a marble ball. By holding this marble ball in my hand, the marble has potential energy. However, when I drop the marble, its energy is classified as kinetic energy. The reason why this falls straight to the ground is because of a force known as gravity. Gravity is pulling the marble down. I utilize the force of gravity along with a simple machine known as an inclined plane to start the Rube Goldberg machine. All I have to do to start my machine is drop a marble into the opening of the insulation pipe, which is acting as my inclined plane. At the end of the tube, you will find a funnel made out of the top of a bottle. By adding this funnel, it ensures that there is little to no variance as to where the marble will land in the cup, which is a part of the next device. Variance is defined as the quality of being subject to change. There is actually a formula to find the variance of any given situation. Luckily though, I won't be figuring that out today. When the marble drops into the cup, utilizing gravity, the cup will fall to the ground. The cup, however, is a part of another type of simple machine, known as a pulley. The pulley I am using is a first-class pulley, or a fixed single pulley. A pulley is defined as a wheel with a groove in which a rope can run. On one end of the pulley, there is a cup tied to the belt, and on the other side, there is a wooden wedge tied to the belt, which is also, in my case, the string. In my Rube Goldberg, I am not using a wedge in its traditional use. I am using it for its stability of supporting something else. When the cup falls, the belt attached to it will cause the wheel and axle of the pulley to spin, which causes the direction of the force to change as the wooden wedge slips out from underneath the next machine. The next machine utilizes two different simple machines, the lever and the inclined plane. This part of the Rube Goldberg project I'm going to nickname the ball in the track. Before the wedge is slipped out, the ball's track is being supported by the wedge to keep the track at a 0-degree angle. When the wooden wedge slips out from underneath the ball's track, it utilizes the lever. A lever is a simple machine giving a mechanical advantage on a fulcrum. A fulcrum is defined as the pivot point about which a lever turns. When the wooden edge slips out from underneath the ball's track, one end of the track is able to fall to the table because of the fulcrum which enabled the track to pivot. After the track has fallen to the table, the ball is able to roll because there is an inclined plane and the angle of the track has changed. Once the ball starts rolling, there is a wooden track that helps guide the ball to the next part of the machine. The wooden train track ensures that there is reliability with the ball rolling into the desired direction. Reliability is defined as the quality of being dependable. Hence, the wooden tracks guide the ball to stay on the directed path, making this action more dependable as well as accurate. As the ball rolls along the track, it has motion. It will then transfer its energy to the dominoes. By knocking down a single domino, it causes a chain reaction that causes all the dominoes in the line to fall. The last domino in the chain is the most important. When the last domino falls, it triggers the mousetrap to project a ball. When the mousetrap is set, there is a spring in the center which is being compressed, becoming a source of potential energy. The energy is being stored, not used, but as soon as the trap is released or triggered by the domino, it is converted to kinetic energy, which is the energy of motion, that propels the snapper arm forward. The ball that is resting on the arm of the trap is the projectile, which lands in the desired container. In terms of the simple machines at work, when you set the trap, you are using a second-class lever. The load is the arm of the spring that is being pushed down to compress the spring. The effort force is your fingers on the end of the snapper arm, and the fulcrum is the pivot point in the middle of the trap, also known as the spring. When the mousetrap is released, however, it acts as a third-class lever. The snapper arm becomes the load, the spring arm becomes the effort force moving the load, which in turn launches the ball into the air to land in the container. You may be thinking that this is the end of my Rube Goldberg device. However, it's not. When the ball lands into the container, it actually triggers one last part of the machine, which is the flag to the Viking ship. The flag to the Viking ship is a lever. On one end of the lever is the counterweight. I used a fishing weight that is taped to the wooden stick on this end. On the other side of the lever, the wooden stick is resting against a notch, which is a small hole that is drilled into the plastic container. The wooden stick is barely resting on the notch, putting the lever in a state of instability. There is another wooden stick that supports the stick and acts as the fulcrum of this device. When the counterweight is triggered by the ball directly hitting the wooden stick, the stick then vibrates and becomes loose from the hole in the plastic container. From the weight of the counterweight, it will then stand straight up to reveal the South Idle High Speedway flag. And now my Rube Goldberg machine is complete. Something cool about my Rube Goldberg device is I themed it after South Idle High School. I named it South Idle High Speedway, sponsored by Elena Driver. At the beginning of my device, you can see an inclined plane featuring checkered flags of blue and gold, which are our school colors. As the ball rounds a curve, you will see Viking Valley. There are many Vikings that are cheering on. As the dominoes fall down, it will trigger the mousetrap to launch the ball. The ball will then be launched into the South Idle High School Viking ship. Once it's launched into the South Idle High School Viking ship, the flag will fly high.
What do you have to say now?
I don't know anymore. Okay.